I think this week has been good for us to catch our breath a little bit, obviously physically, mentally. We just sometimes it's good to just take a step back. Our guys are working hard on their exams and getting through all those things. So ready to start playing baseball again. We've had a good week of preparation while trying to manage our health. So we're anxious to get going.
Mark, with that health, what's the latest Red Cross report?
Yeah, Hall unavailable. McGillis unavailable, but getting better, getting closer. Lee Croy will be limited, so maybe you'll see him available in a pinch hit capacity, something like that. And Cassis should be a full go.
I'll do a call and ask the rotation question. Sanders, Mahoney, Becker.
Correct.
Okay.
From a big picture pitching staff standpoint, there's always a lot of talk about roles going into a season, and closer is obviously a big one that folks want to talk about. Y'all didn't necessarily have a defined one, I guess, coming into the year, and the season certainly played out well from a pitching staff standpoint. Is there anything about the evolution of how y'all have handled your pitchers this season that has been a little bit surprising to you based on what you thought might happen coming into the season?
Not really. I think we obviously started the year knowing here are the bullpen guys, and here's the roles we'd like to use them in, and then we'll see how it evolves from there. I think what happened is Chris Veach kind of evolved to be the go-to guy. Kate Austin has been very solid and as a kind of a setup guy / middleman. Jones and Hicks have evolved into the long man that you kind of go to first out of the pen when your starter's done. So I think for the most part, a lot of what we hoped would happen has happened. We didn't know which guy would kind of take the role as that closer, but we knew we had a lot of great candidates and still do. But I'd say for the most part, it's kind of gone how we thought it would and how we hoped it would.
You mentioned Veach taking the closer role. Other than that changeup, what is it about him that kind of makes him good in those moments, or is kind of right for ninth innings?
Well, he's a competitor. He's got confidence, as you can tell, with some of his theatrics. It's good stuff. It's 90 on his good days. It's 92, 93 with an elite changeup. He has control. He has strikeout pitches, and that's very important for a closer, that you can get a strikeout when you need a strikeout. Sometimes just getting an out is not good enough. Sometimes you need a strikeout, and he is very good with that changeup or surprising guys with a fastball late with getting a strikeout when necessary. So I think that's a big key for him.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mike.
So this is the time of year when obviously a lot of people are focusing in on field of 64 projections, postseason, and all that. And I'm curious, how much do you as a coach, do you find yourself, looking at the RPI, looking at those projections and that kind of thing? And do you hear players talking about it at all? Is it ever a conversation you have to have with the team, like, hey, let's just focus on what's right in front of us?
Well, I do look at it. I think any coach that tells you they don't look at that stuff is not being forthcoming. I think we do look at it. It's part of our job to know what our needs are, where we currently stand. Now, it doesn't change anything you do with your team. It doesn't change how you prepare, whether you feel like you need X number of wins or Y number of wins to get to a certain point. It doesn't change how you prepare, how hard you're going to play. It doesn't change any of those things, but it's information. We're in the information business, so the more information we have on a daily basis in any category, the better. So I do look at it. Our staff looks at it some. I don't know how much our players look at it. I don't hear a whole lot of RPI talk from our players. I think they want to come out and play baseball, and that's what we encourage. Just let's prepare well. Let's play the best we can today, and that stuff for them will take care of itself.
Mark, Cole Messina came in last year, and I think he had that elbow right before the season. So you just talk about his development, and is it surprising at all that he didn't get to play a lot last year, but then he steps in this year, not only hitting the ball really well, but he's handling the pitching staff really well as well?
Well, for my money, Cole Messina is the most improved player in the country, and it's from good old-fashioned hard work. At the end of the year last year, we knew he was talented. We knew he had a great pedigree, had a great high school career, had played on really good travel ball teams, and had everything you're looking for in a recruit. But last year, he came in and just didn't click. He was battling injuries, and it just didn't quite come together yet. To his credit, he didn't pout. He didn't whine. he just went to work. He went out and played in the Northwoods League, which is a tough league to play in because you play every day, and there's very few breaks, and it's a long season. It's like playing professional baseball. And he just went to work, and he caught a lot last summer, started to figure out his swing, started to gain some confidence, and he came back a more confident guy, more competent guy on both sides of the ball. That being said, he still had some adjustments to work on. He still worked really hard in the weight room, and because of all those things, I think Monty has had a nice effect on his approach as well. So you factor all those things in, and I think we have the best catcher in the league. I think we have one of the best catchers in the country. I'm promoting him to the USA people that he should be in very strong consideration for their team, and just so proud of him. So proud of him. He bleeds garnet and black. He's a competitor. He's a gamer. He's beloved by his teammates. He'll do anything this team needs. Every time we have an injury, he says, "Coach, if you need me to go play there, I'll go play there for the team." So love the kid, love the player, and very happy he's a Gamecock.
If I recall, he was kind of clean cut last year, no beard, short hair. Now he's kind of got the John Crook look
Yeah,
going on.
well, I think that's really the key, David, is all the hard work I don't think had anything to do with his success. I think it's just the facial hair.
And the mullet. Right?
And the mullet, especially the mullet and the headband. Don't forget the headband.
Mark, obviously you guys have a lot of homegrown talent per se with a lot of guys, from the area in South Carolina with, the guys from Chapin, Messina, LeCroy, and others. What has been the key to keeping those guys in state and not going to, other schools?
Well, I think in recruiting, you always want to start from the inside out. And one thing I've found is that teams, players, fans, if you have a great player, they don't care where they're from. And if you're playing poorly, they don't care where they're from. That being said, we want to try to get the best players we can from within our state that we think can help us go to Omaha and then move out from there. So we've got some great players from in the state and locally. Obviously, Chapin has been very good to us as of late with on our pitching staff. But also people don't seem to care that Ethan Petrie's not from within the state or a local player. So you just want to end up with the best players you can, but we have a lot of respect for the state, for the coaches in our state, both travel and high school. And so when there are good players in our state that we think can help get us to Omaha, we're going to recruit them hard.
I guess when you look at Auburn, what stands out to you about their team, especially offensively?
It's a very talented offense. I watched them play the other night. Obviously, we've all watched a lot of film on them and done our homework. It's a lineup with accomplished hitters, some very much improved hitters, and they can hit the long ball. They get on base. It's a team you're going to have to really navigate. Position player wise, they also play really good defense, so they're not going to beat themselves on defense. So it's going to be like every other SEC weekend. You better play really good baseball. You better not assume anything because it's a team that was in Omaha last year, and so we respect what they're all about.
How much fun has this year been for you so far, and what's it like just to see Founders Park, the energy kind of continuously increasing as every weekend passes?
Yeah, I think this year has been what I hoped it would be when I first came here in terms of what we have on the field, what we're getting from our fans in terms of the support and the electricity on game day. This is what I envisioned when I came here, and it took a little longer to get to this point maybe than we thought it would, but we're here, and we've overcome some adversity to get here, and I'm just so proud of the players. I'm so happy for the players that they're getting to experience this, and so I think this is something we can really, really build on.
Kind of been an every weekend question lately, but the weather's again a concern.
Yeah.
Just I know you can't do anything about it, but just how much does that add to your plate that you just rather avoid about having to keep checking forecast and trying to get in touch with Auburn about might have to play 2 here and all that kind of rigmarole?
Yeah, it's just another piece of the puzzle, David. It is what it is. We don't control the weather, but we have to react to the weather. So if we have to play another doubleheader this weekend, we'll do it. Hopefully we don't. We all prefer playing one game at a time. But if we have to play 2 on Saturday, it looks like the best day Weather-wise, right now is Saturday, so if that's what we have to target, we'll do that. But that's always Plan B. You try to see if you can get through the weekend. Like last weekend, for example, at this point, we were talking about doubleheaders with Florida, but we were patient and we were able to get individual games each day. So we'll take the same approach, but Plan B always is, okay, do we have to go play a doubleheader?
You did announce Becker was starting, and that is the first time y'all have announced him. What made you decide to go ahead and put him out there as in the rotation?
He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. Again, we've had a number of guys do different roles at this point, but Matthew deserves it. I think that's right now a great role for him instead of trying to reserve him and save him on Friday or Saturday. I think we feel really good about the other guys who can come in and save games for us, and we feel really good about Matthew and how he has pitched in the starting role on Game 3. So I think he deserves it. All right. Appreciate it.